Hey guys, just Paul here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the most important thing that you need to get your head around. It's very simple, to understand if what you're doing is working for you. Because as the saying goes, the definition of insanity is doing something that doesn't work over and over again. So if something's not working for you, we've got to make little tweaks. Certainly if you're a female, then female fat loss is a lot more trickier than male fat loss. We've got to take into consideration what time of the menstrual cycle we are and what adaptations we've got to use for different times along the menstrual cycle. We've got to take into consideration menopause, post-menopause, PCOS. There's a lot of hormones that go into play for female fat loss, whereas guys, it's a lot easier. So I want you to get your head around two things to understand if what you're doing is working or going to be working for you long term. And the first one is fat loss. If we are achieving fat loss, it's a thumbs up. But the thing that also needs to be in check, and if it's not in check, it won't be sustainable fat loss, is your hunger, energy, and cravings, or as I call HEC. Okay, if HEC is in check, then the results are going to be sustainable. If HEC isn't in check, the results will not be sustainable long term. You will slip back. So, if you've achieved fat loss, but HEC isn't in check, your hunger, energy, and cravings are not balanced, then your results will not be sustainable. If you're achieving weight loss and your HEC isn't in check, and if you are achieving weight loss, HEC will never be in check, because weight loss is not fat loss. So you may think, yes, I've lost 3 pounds on the scales, but I've still got these inches that won't shift. That's because weight loss is muscle and water loss. It's not necessarily fat loss. So when we talk about fat loss, we've really got to get the workouts, the nutrition, the lifestyle right to achieve the weight loss, the fat loss. Okay? Everybody talks about weight loss, I know, and think it's fat loss, but they are two different things. So what we're chasing is fat loss and to get HEC in balance. So let me explain over the period in the next 28 days how you can monitor your fat loss, but more importantly, your HEC, your hunger, energy, and cravings. Okay, so if they are on check, then you know your meal plan, you know what you're doing, what time you're going to sleep, what time you're waking up, how you're managing with stress, and the workouts that you're putting yourself in along that time for females in the menstrual cycle. You know then that it's working for you. So every single day, I want you to monitor on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your HEC? So what is your HEC? Can you guys see that? Just about. Okay. So HEC, guys, stands for hunger, energy, and cravings. Hunger, energy, and cravings. Okay, so if we're achieving fat loss, and we will know this by measurements on the nutrition side, we'll show you how to do your measurements from your shoulders, your navel, your hips, and your waist. If you're a female that wants to get the hourglass shape, which is the most healthiest shape a female can have, it's what guys prefer, and as a general population, it's what females prefer. So for the hourglass shape, if that is your goal, what I would then do is do your chest, so around the bust, take that measurement, and then do it around your hips. So where your first rib meets your hip bone, so where there's no bone, but the first bone meets the hip bone, take the biggest measurement around there, and then divide those two numbers. And you're looking for somewhere between 0.6 and 0.8, with 0.7 being optimal. And then take your waist measurement, and this time do the biggest part around your bum, your hip measurement, and divide those two numbers. And again, you're looking for 0.6, 0.8, with optimum being 0.7. And those two numbers is what we're looking to achieve, that hourglass shape. So between 0.6 from bust to waist, 0.6 to 0.8. And for hips to waist, 0.6 to 0.8 will give you the hourglass physique. So that, again, that's how you can measure your goals if you're looking for the hourglass shape. So hunger, energy, and cravings on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad and 10, sorry, 1 being good and 10 being bad, I want you to give yourself a daily HEC check. You're looking for anywhere between 1 to 5 as thumbs up, okay? That's good. But anything over 5 is bad. You now need to tweak things, okay? So how do we start tweaking things? Well, if your HEC, hunger, energy, and cravings have been out of check, if they are above 5, all we need to start doing firstly is add protein, add fibre, and so non-starchy fibre. We can get this from flax seeds, from potato skins, sweet potato skins. So non-starchy fibres would be the flax seeds. You can also get apple fibre, so you can actually buy from companies apple fibre and add that to your drinks and your smoothies. So up fibre, this will help you with your hunger, energy, and cravings. Up protein, up fibre, and up your water intake. Okay, so PFW. Okay, PFW, protein, fibre, water. So if your HEC's been out of check, I want you to raise those up with your meals. So on the nutrition site, just go for your recipes and look at ways that you can increase the fibre by looking at the macronutrient content, what's included in those recipes. Look at increasing your protein, fibre, and water. Okay, if that still no change in your results and your HEC still out of check, then we want to start tweaking your carbohydrates. So we may need to start reducing your carbohydrates by 100 grams per day. If that doesn't show any change in the scale, in the weight, in the fat measurements, and your HEC, we now may need to start increasing them by 100 grams a day until something does happen. Because what a lot of times people do with diets is they allow something to happen called metabolic damage, where basically they've done low-calorie diet for a long period of time. They've damaged their metabolism. Now you need to reverse that by increasing your calorie intake and your physical intake of exercise to increase your metabolism again, so we can get it working correctly again. So basically by reversing that effect, we can then eventually start putting fat back. So everybody, you can start to see how everybody is very different. So what I want you to take away, guys, is, let me bring you closer so you can see. Every single day, I want you to make sure you check your HEC, okay? So hunger, energy, and cravings. Are they in sync? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being good, 10 being bad. 1 to 5 is good. Anything above 5 is bad. And in which case, if we are above 5, P, F, W, increase. So protein, fibre, water, we're going to increase. If still no change after a couple of days, carbs, reduce those by 100 grams a day, every day. If still no change, let's start to increase them by 100 grams a day until something does happen. But our real goal is get HEC in check and get fat loss in check. At which point you found that point, if you find that point, do nothing else. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, keep doing what you're doing. You have found your female fat loss formula. If you start to tweak things more, try and get a bigger result, a faster result by quitting carbs, whatever, all you would do is go back to square one. This is how you need to be working from. And keep checking on a daily basis that HEC. Do your fat loss measurements and your scale measurements every Friday in the morning before you've eaten anything. And why I say do them on Friday before you've eaten anything is because those days are when, if you are going to slip up on the diet, is going to more than likely be the weekend. If we are going to binge eat, if we are going to have alcohol, it's more than likely to be the weekend. So Friday is the furthest day away from that happening, and doing it on an empty stomach isn't going to show on the scales. Okay, so you want to do it on an empty stomach before you do that. So this has been how I want you to measure your results, by using HEC on a daily basis, and then measuring your fat loss and your weight loss on the scales and the measurements every Friday in the morning. The next video will show you how we can use female-specific fat loss over the menstrual cycle to really figure out what you need to be doing and how you need to be eating during the menstrual cycle.